All right, people, what's going on? You tuned into Sports and Bullshit with Jamal Murphy and Dan Weinreich. We go way back. I don't know how many years it's been. I'm not going to date myself, but we go way, way back, 20 plus years. Arguing about the same stuff. And now, it's like we never even aged a year because we got OKC, Golden State. It's the NBA playoffs, but there's really only one series that anybody cares about going on. It's Oklahoma City and Golden State. And, as is often the case, Dan and I are on the opposite side of the argument about how we feel about this series. But let's get right into it. We know it's 1-1. So it's a 1-1 series stand so far. We're going back to Oklahoma City. So, Dan, what are your thoughts on the series so far?
My thoughts on the series so far.
Where are we?
Well, it's 1-1. The OKC shocked the world by stealing game one. Not stealing game one. Seizing game one. But then, true to script, game two was the heroic performance by Steph Curry in the third quarter, putting the game away. So now it's tied 1-1, headed to OKC for game three.
Yeah,
that's where we are.
That's now. Where we are.
Headed to.
so we know we know where you stand, already, and obviously we've been talking back and forth, and you've been very hype. OKC, the whole OKC, the feeling of out there. But no, I look at the series so far. Game one, Russell Westbrook, great third quarter. I have my my doubts about Westbrook being able to really play at a level consistently that's going to get OKC a championship. But he played really well in that third quarter. You're right. They didn't steal that first game. They won that first game outright. But I think Golden State didn't play well at all. Even when they were winning, they're loose with the ball. It's almost like they were overconfident. Steph throwing unnecessary behind the back passes, and he had about 7 turnovers. Then game two, I feel like they played their best game of the entire playoffs. If they play like that the rest of the way, I feel like, I'm pretty confident that 73 win regular season team will move on to the finals. But so, on that note, I know you feel differently, but who do you feel like has the advantage of the momentum going into tonight's game?
I guess you would have to say if anybody has the advantage or momentum going to the game, it's Golden State because they won the last game and it's even. The series is even. So they're essentially starting from scratch. Although you could also argue that Oklahoma City stole home court by winning a game in Golden State because if Oklahoma City were to win all of their home games, they'll win the series. So it's pretty close. I think, I wanted to pick OKC from the beginning. And I didn't. You never want to pick 7 when you're picking the road team because it's always harder to imagine. But I couldn't imagine this series being less than 7 games. So we're just in the beginning, I think. But I tell you what's been really interesting to me last season,
right?
If you remember, Durant was out and Westbrook was sort of single-handedly trying to will Thunder into the playoffs,
right?
And they missed it by like a half game or something. I think maybe the Pelicans made it in their place,
right? The Pelicans
and just laid down for Golden State, and I was sure then. I didn't think that OKC would have won, but I knew just Russ's pride and his sort of angst or agite over all the fanfare Curry had received and the MVP. I mean, essentially, there's this whole thing in the NBA about teams having to take a step before they take the final step. The The Bulls had to get past the Pistons. The Pistons had to get past the Celtics and Lakers, so on and so forth. Well, Golden State leapfrogged OKC. Golden State was sort of behind OKC and the Clippers in line, and they just jumped past them last year. And now this year, it's just been like, they're the favorite from the beginning, running away with it. And that's the kind of thing when you're dealing with like the most ultra competitive athletes and the best athletes in the world can make a difference in a game. And, like between Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, they're all sort of unstoppable when they're on. So it's really, I think that those little added factors of motivation make a big difference. And I think now a year passed from last year where they didn't make the playoffs, Russell and Durant had to sit and watch Golden State go on this run. And, again, another MVP or year. I'm sure they both think they should be the MVP, and neither one of them got obviously any first place votes. Neither one of them were even finished in the top 3. That's the kind of can I say shit?
Yeah, of course.
It's the kind of shit that's going to get them ready. And on paper, I wouldn't think OKC could beat Golden State in the series because Golden State is so deep. OKC's best 2 players are better than Golden State only has 1 player as good as OKC's 2 best players. But after the top 2, Golden State's really deep between Draymond, or whether you think Draymond or Klay is the best, and Harrison Barnes, Sean Livingston, Andre Iguodala, Mo Spates, like all these guys are solid. They can all make solid contributions. However, I thought the same thing about San Antonio, and by the end of the San Antonio series, Oklahoma State had essentially broken their will, had made them look like they weren't that competitive team, and I think it's the ongoing sort of wearing down process of dealing with 2 superstars, or at least 1 superstar on the court at all times, and sometimes 2. And it can wear you down, and especially now that the other guys at OKC are stepping up in their role player positions. Dion Waiters, Sam Adams, both emerging as maybe if not starters.
Steven Adams, not the beer.
Steven Adams, definitely. Dion Waiters looking like a great 6-man. No, he's no Harden, but we'll take it.
Yeah, I'll say.
And but beyond, also Roberson, also Cantor. Like guys are making solid contributions all around. So
no, I hear you.
Let's see what happens.
I think
see what happens when we tip.
Yeah, we'll see. I think the momentum is with Golden State right now. Slightly combated by the fact that we're going into Oklahoma City, which that'll be some sort of advantage. But I think that Game 2 performance,
some sort of advantage.
Yeah, I don't think home court either way is going to make that big a difference. I think whoever plays. I think either one of them are not like overwhelmed that with the by the notion that they have to go into to either Oklahoma City or Golden State and win a game. I think they're both confident teams, and I think a slight advantage. Golden State has proven throughout the year that they could go into Oklahoma State and win. They did that when Steph hit that 40-foot jumper or whatever. So they know they can do it. I think that Game 2 performance for them, like I said, I didn't think during the playoffs that they had played really a good game yet, or a good game for their that they're used to. And they finally did that in Game 2. So I would think that their confidence has to be sky high. The first game, if Westbrook plays like that for, let's say, 3 quarters at least. I know you can't do that for 4 quarters, but you could do that for 3 quarters. Then that's something to be scared of. But I feel like they match up as well as you possibly can against Westbrook, because they got length and athleticism that can guard him. Like Klay Thompson is athletic and he's long, and when he's on Westbrook, he's going to make him take tough shots. And Westbrook is great, great motor, but to me, like I said earlier, I still don't really trust him when it comes to like a big situation. Can he slow himself down? Can he make the right decision when you have to make it? And can he hit a big outside shot when he has to, not just because he's hot already and he's feeling it? I mean, he needs to hit. He gets a reversal of the ball, it comes back to him in a big moment. Can you count on him to make that? Nah, you know what I'm saying? It can be here or there. So I think I expect Golden State to win this game 3. Oklahoma City, they have those two guys. If those two guys go off and they hit contested shots, obviously Oklahoma City could win this game. But there's no doubt in my mind that to me that Golden State's gonna at least win one of the two next games. I think they might win both.
I would disagree with you. I definitely, I feel as strongly that they won't win both, but I definitely think they could win one. But I think it'll be game 4 rather than game 3.
I think we're 2-3. Yeah. It was never 2-3-2 except for the finals, and I think and I think the finals now are back to 2-1-1-1. They've changed that since last year. Yeah, that was horrible. So we've been talking about the stars on each team. That's an interesting discussion to me. Who has the most star power? I think as a whole, this series is like a dream come true to like sports fans, especially younger sports fans. Like the millennials got to be going crazy over this series because it's like 3 of their all-time favorites. KD. Everybody loves KD.
I wouldn't stop it. Yeah.
Everybody loves KD.
Steph. I wouldn't stop at 3.
Well, who else?
I wouldn't stop at Clay and Draymond are pretty popular too.
Yeah, but it's really those 3. Like
they're not superstars, but they're 1A.
Right, but you got 3 of the superstars. Like 3 of the top three people who people will say are in the top 5. And then you have, Steph Curry has turned into the most popular superstar in a long time, like just popular in terms of like people like him, and obviously there are reasons for that. He's very he's light skinned, he's not gonna scare you, he's a short guy, his daughter's cute, and for that reason I think people resent him at the same time.
I do think he could if he wanted to. Okay? He wanted to. Not that he should. He could talk more proper.
What? Who?
Steph.
What?
He's got a little bit of a, how can I put this?
Proper.
A teeny bit of a hip hop twang in his speech.
Off the court?
He's kind of like, yeah, and I'm not saying he curses or uses inappropriate language. I'm just saying he doesn't talk like like a nerd.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a little bit of like it's not a racial thing. It's like cool. He's got a little bit of a cool kid, like kind of to the way he speaks.
And is that a pro or a con for you?
It's not. It's neither. But I'm surprised it's not a con to the world. Not a con per se, but people love Steph so much they don't seem to care that he talks like a little bit of a cool kid, I would say.
Yeah, I honestly never noticed that. Like I never thought about that. So yeah, I mean that's the first.
I did, because I used to think he was like almost like, because it seemed a little affected to me. It seemed a little like, rich kid trying to seem down.
Maybe it is. But I tell you, his actions on the court are ridiculous. Like when he hit that 3, and this dude started talking shit to Ibaka before it went in. That's one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
I also, by the way, think Clay, though I like Clay a lot, Clay looks so much like he's he's trying so hard to be cool.
Why?
You know what I mean?
Why are you analyzing Golden State like that?
Dude, he looks like a dude that if he tripped, like on a wet spot, he's walking, he tripped, his face would go bright red. He wouldn't know how to react. You know what I mean? Whereas Yeah, even a guy Draymond, I think, would do that and like could laugh at himself and be funny with it. But like, I don't think Clay knows how to not be the cool guy in the room. But I'm not hating. I love go. They're my second favorite team in the West.
Yeah, but I mean,
they're not. It's not that fun to root for them anymore because they're so.
But they won. Think about it when you say that. What have they done?
Yeah.
They won one. They won one championship. Who some people were saying was a fluke, or they didn't have to go through everybody. And then so you're basing it based all on the 73 regular season wins.
No, and how about why not both?
But I'm saying that it's not like they won back to back even yet. You know, they're not even really a dynasty yet.
Yeah, but before that, not yet because there hasn't been enough time. But if anything, they're in the midst of it. But they last year before they won the championship, they were number one all season long as well. So they've been number one now for like 2 full seasons. I'm sort of, they're getting a little Bulls like.
I hear you. So it makes them easy to root against now because you want somebody else.
It doesn't make them easy. It doesn't make them easy to root against, but when you're talking about the team that isn't you, it's one thing if you're in Golden State. If you live there, if you grew up with them, then then it's wonderful. But if you are rooting from them as like another team, if you have a horrible team where you live, like say the Knicks or the Nets or the Sixers, right, and you love it, the NBA, so you adopt other teams to root for. I loved Golden State when it was Mark Jackson. I was all about the Splash Brothers and whatnot, and because they weren't, they were sort of sleepers. But now it's less fun to root to adopt a team that is dynastic, I think.
So let me go to the other team, Oklahoma City. Kevin Durant, Westbrook, like we just said, two of the biggest stars in the game, and who everybody puts in the top 5. But
that's not true.
But
that's not true.
So
not everybody puts them in the top 5.
I mean, it sounds like it recently.
Mark Cuban doesn't even think Russell Westbrook is a superstar.
I mean, Mark Cuban doesn't even know that.
And neither did you a couple weeks ago.
Who doesn't think Westbrook's? I'm not really sure he's a top 5 guy.
I don't think you even. So there you go.
I'm responding to everybody else.
Everybody says top 5.
Do.
And then a second later you go, I don't put him in the top 5.
Well, I don't. Do you?
So
do you?
Are you not? Of course.
There you go. You said of course.
Of course.
As if you have a lot of support.
Top 4.
All right. Well,
they're top 4.
And to me, you mentioned earlier that both of them believe they should have been MVP. Why? They won 50-something games compared to Golden State's 70-something games. Where have they been? They went. What year was it that OKC was in the final? Because if you have 2 top 5 guys, shouldn't you be there all the time?
They haven't had them. What are you talking about? Durant was injured last year.
That was 1 year.
Okay, there's only been 3.
What year was?
There's only been 2 since they're in the final.
What year was that? Probably 2009.
No, this 16, 15, 14, 13. 2013. What are you talking about?
Harden was traded when? No, that's before 2000.
Off season of 2013. This was his 3rd year. Maybe 2012. This is his second or third year with Houston. All
right, so let's say you're correct. Even this year, you're not even in the discussion during the regular season as one of the top, as like a top 2 team in the West. It's all Golden State and San Antonio. I mean, if you have those 2 guys, shouldn't you be, had one of the top records in the league? If you want that respect.
Why are we competing for the respect championship? Are you baby now? You want me to put some respect on it?
Yeah, I want some respect on it. Something.
I don't understand what's your point.
My point is they've had these 2 guys for years. They've had these 2 guys for years and they haven't done anything yet. Yeah. And this argument has been made. It's almost like, Kevin Durant, who I like a lot. And, I think there's no question he's a top 5 guy. But if he's been one of the top 5 guys for years now, and he's been to 1 finals, and he doesn't get hammered like LeBron would have or does. LeBron has 2 championships, gets hammered because he doesn't have all the championships. You know what I'm saying? So what's the difference?
Well, first of all, they're in the midst of perhaps their first championship run right now. But So you're like criticizing them during the playoffs when they're making an ill run for what they didn't do during the regular season.
They're in the Western Conference Finals.
Let's talk about that during the off season. What they haven't had to come. Right now they beat a historically great team and they're tied up with another historically great team. And if they beat this team and then go on to beat the Cavs, it'll probably be the most impressive playoff run in the history of the NBA, based on who they beat. So, and you're sitting there griping about, whoa, where have they been? Where have they been? Well, what are they doing right now?
They haven't done anything right now. They haven't done anything yet.
Yes, they're doing it. They're in the middle of it.
It's not over. Golden State has done it. Golden State has already won a championship.
You are the same fucking guy who, when they're playing San Antonio in Game 3, which they went on to win, go, I can't believe they're not even going to get one game at home. And they got both games at home. Because the point is, you consider it over when it's still happening. They're doing it right now. I don't know how you can sit there and talk about where have they been over the last few years. Durant was hurt last year. Westbrook was hurt the year before. The year before that, they were in the finals.
A lot of excuses coming your way. That's all I hear.
There's no excuses. Those are facts.
They're facts.
Facts, not
so
excuses.
They never had a full team ever. That's what you're telling me.
No, but in the last 2 years, you're blaming where have they been?
They were there. They were there the year before last. 1 year. Durant was hurt.
Westbrook was out, and then Durant was out. Duh. It's simple.
It's not simple. They haven't done anything with your two top 5 players.
Because they've been hurt.
Oh, please.
Because they've been hurt.
Right. Hurt. Okay. All right.
LeBron
made it to the finals with nobody. This whole team was hurt. Okay.
So now your measure of greatness is also based on your physical ability to not get hurt.
Of course it is, because if Steph would have still been injury prone, would he be where he is? That was the knock on Steph. Oh, he can't stay healthy. So same thing with Westbrook.
I mean, let me ask you a question. Take Steph and put him on OKC. Take Westbrook and put him on Golden State. Do you think Golden State's still the best team?
Probably not. It could be though. I mean,
I disagree. With you.
I don't know. I don't know. All I can say is
Golden State is the best team to be on. They're like loaded at every position. They're deep everywhere. A player gets hurt, somebody else can start. They don't have a drop off.
They didn't look that good without Steph out there during the playoffs.
Well, I mean, Portland was like the third best team in the West in the second half of the season, record-wise.
Okay.
Record-wise from the playoffs. So, I mean, whatever.
All right. So, you're saying this is okay. Your whole thing is
they're not that great because they haven't.
But your whole thing is this is the year. If they don't get it done now, then I'll be right. That's what you're saying.
No, you'll never be right. That's what I'm saying.
All right. Since we already know who you're rooting for, I guess you're saying OKC will win in how many games and why?
7.
7.
By the way, this is taking a lot of juice out of the phone.
Yeah, that's why That's why there's such a thing as a charger.
Well, if you didn't notice, I'm outdoors.
that was your idea, bro.
It's a nice scenic look.
It is. So I like the look.
Let's just wrap it up.
How much juice do you have left?
I got the 10% flash when we were yelling.
All right, so we got about 5 minutes. All right, so
hit that.
Who will win? You said, so you got OKC in 7. I'm sticking with my original. That was basically, I think that was your original prediction. My original prediction. I'm gonna stick with that. Say OKC in 6. I'll give. Say Freudian slip maybe. I got Golden State in 6, and so I'll give OKC
and how
one
are we
more
doing
game.
so far? How are we doing so far? How do we do picking the last series?
Which one? San Antonio?
OKC, San Antonio?
I mean, OKC surprised me. One series. Good for them. I give them credit for it. What do you want me to say? They were better. They were better than I thought they were.
I don't want you to.
They were better than I thought they were. They were better than they were in the regular season. I'll give them.
That's great. I don't care about that. I want to hear you say that you were wrong.
Yeah, I was wrong. I was wrong.
You made the
I was wrong. I was wrong about San Antonio.
You picked the wrong.
Yes,
team.
I was wrong about San Antonio.
You picked the wrong team.
I was wrong about San Antonio. I admit it.
Yeah. You were wrong about San Antonio. Yeah. And you're wrong about Oklahoma City.
Oh, it's over. I thought that was your argument. I thought your argument that it's not over yet.
San Antonio lost.
I still think OKC. I still think OKC's going to lose this series. I'm not worried about that. But anyway, okay. So we know that. Any thoughts on LeBron and his loss to Toronto, or do you not care like the rest of us?
I'm glad Toronto won a game.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they would. I knew it would be competitive. I thought that Cleveland might have kept it close and pulled it out at the end, but now, I mean, I still don't think it's a series. But it's a weird team. I mean, I wouldn't have picked them to be better than. There's 2 or 3 other teams in the East that I thought would be better than them, but they had the second best record, very close to Cleveland's record, and they win when they have to. So, watch out. I mean, Cleveland,
but what do you think?
Braun, and them better not mess around because they could surprise if they win the game 4. It's a series, and game 3 wasn't even close. That's the bad part for Cleveland. It one thing to lose. Game 3, that would have been fine, but to get wiped out, of course, Golden State got wiped out by Portland. Steph wasn't there, but I think Portland would have won Game 3 anyway, even if Steph had been there.
Maybe,
but I mean, it's definitely a series. Cleveland needs to win Game 4.
And do you give the winner of the East a chance versus the West in the finals? Well, it looks like we may have lost Dan. His juice might have hit 0. He's not the best at preparing for things and preparing for different situations that might occur. So he didn't have a charger hooked up to his phone. But it was great talking to Dan. He's become an OKC homer, OKC homer in Brooklyn, and there are a few. I have a few friends who are all in with the OKC fanboy movement. But anyway, it was great talking to you guys today. Look forward to the game tonight. I got Golden State winning game 3. We'll see what happens, and we'll talk after that later.